It's time to open up the Book of the Month Vault, Ketchupathon edition. Hi friends, welcome back to Pages and Chaos, and it's time to open up the Book of the Month Vault again, but it's going to happen a little bit differently. So for the next 2 weeks, it is Ketchupathon. Now, if you don't know what Ketchupathon is, this is a readathon that is run by Krista at Books and Jams and Amy at Amy's Bookish Life, and they do this every year where you try to catch up on your Book of the Month TBR. Now, if you don't have Book of the Month, you could still use any TBR that you have and catch up on that. And because I've been trying to work my way through all of my Books of the Month since January, and I'm going to do that for the rest of the year, this is how I'm going to handle my July Vault prompt and vlog. Well, I'm not going to pick a prompt from the bag this time because I have a whole bunch of prompts to fill for Ketchupathon. So every year Ketchupathon has a different theme. This all started our first year, and I don't know if you could see, but we have this little ketchup bottle and the TBR. This was a shirt that they designed one year because our very first year of doing this, they did this where you had to build a burger, and you know, the play on the word ketchup, right? And every year since then has been a different theme. We built an ice cream sundae or an ice cream cone. We did a barbecue, like, you know, a cookout. I think we went to the movies last year. There's been a whole bunch of different prompts. And this year we are making a pie. So I have a whole bunch of books that are going to fit some of these prompts. Some of them will double up, but I do have 5 that are on my list for the next 2 weeks. We'll see if I can get them, and I'll go through what kind of pie I'm going to be building if I get through these. I do have a couple of extra books that I'm not sure if I need to swap one of them out or if I'm just not feeling one of them. So my pie might change, but let's start off with what I have chosen. So first up, I have to decide what kind of pie I'm going to have. Am I going to have a sweet pie or am I going to have a savory pie? And I decided I'm going to go with a sweet pie. Now, a sweet pie is a go-to book, so genre that you typically go to. And for that, I am choosing Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I have been trying to read this for so long now. I got this in July of 2018, and every time I go to pick it up, something else distracts me, or I don't even know. But I am very much still interested in reading this book, so this is going to be a must for this month's Ketchupathon. And this is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, so this is about Miriam, who has this reputation for going out and collecting the debts that her father can't collect because her father's a debt collector. And she gets this reputation around the kingdom that she is spinning silver into gold, and this gets the king's attention. So now she has to handle that. She meets a few people along the way. I don't know, but I'm excited. I might even just start with this one. Even though these are all fitting the prompts in order, I'm probably not going to read them in the order that I'm telling them to you, so we'll see. Next up is going to be the type of crust, and I'm going with the graham cracker crust, which is bright colors on the cover, and for that, I am going to read Philosopher's Flight. Clearly, very bright colors. We got bright yellow, we got this bright teal or whatever, blue. This has been on my shelf since February of 2018, so this is definitely one that goes back almost to the beginning. And I really like the concept of this. So it says half science, half magic, entirely fantastic. And this is supposed to be a fantastical reinvention of 1910s America. And it says 18-year-old Robert Weeks is one of the few men who practice empirical philosophy, a female-dominated branch of science used to summon the wind, heal the injured, and even fly. He always dreamed of being the first man to join the U.S. Sigourney Corps Rescue and Evacuation Department, an elite team of flying medics, but everyone knows that's impossible. Men can barely even get off the ground. So I love that twist on 1910s America and how it's, you know, the man who is being kept out of, you know, doing something important. So I'm excited to read this and to see how this is going to go. I have been wanting to, read this for a while. I just always pick up something else instead. Next up is going to be my filling, and for that I'm going to go with a chocolate mousse, which is a fantasy setting. And for that one, I'm going to read Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This has been on my shelf since May of 2025, and this is one that I haven't really picked up because I got it because it sounded interesting, but then I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews, so I'm not so sure. And it is the first book in a series, so I do want to read this now to see if this is something that I'm going to continue or if this is just going to be a one and done, because the last couple of romanticises or fantasies that I've been picking up from Book of the Month that are first books in a series, I haven't really been continuing because I just didn't enjoy them after the first book. So I am definitely going to pick this one up. And this one says, in the first book of our sizzling dystopian romance series, psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. So typical enemies to lovers romantasy. So yeah, we will see. And I'm hoping that I enjoy this, especially because Book of the Month started doing this thing, which I actually don't like, but where they've been giving you sprayed edges, but they charge you more for it. So I probably should have passed on that and just waited till I can get it from the library or something, but we'll see. There was only 2 books that I decided to pay the extra, and so far one of them turned out that I did not like it, so I'm not continuing that series. So it's kind of a bummer that I paid more money for sprayed edges. So I'm hoping this one at least is worth it. So next up is going to be my topping, and for that I'm going to do a lattice topping, which is either multiple points of view or multiple timelines, and for that I'm going to read Mad Mabel. I just got this back in April of 2026, and this is going to fit the multiple timelines. So this is about Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick, who is currently 81 years old, but when she was younger, she was known as Mad Mabel, and she was the youngest convicted murderer in Australia. And now that she keeps to herself, all of a sudden, somebody comes up newly murdered, and things start going awry, whispers, things like that. So she finally gets to tell her story, and we get to see what happened. Is she really guilty? Whereas things, just not what they seem. So it says sanity is subjective. So I like that. And yeah, this is going to be a must read for this week. Now, last up is the sides. And I am going to go right now with whipped cream. And I have 2 possible books that are going to fit this prompt. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to both of them, but if I do, then maybe I'll just get, double whipped cream topping. But I'm definitely going to get one of them. And the whipped cream is a romance focused book. And I'm going to read A Rogue of One's Own for that one. I read the first one in this companion series, but it says here, a lady must have money and an army of her own if she is to win a revolution. But first she must pit her wits against the wiles of an irresistible rogue bent on wrecking her plans and her heart. So this takes place in England, and it's all about the suffragette movement. And I really liked the first one. First of all, it was definitely I don't want to say Bridgerton vibes because it's a different time period, but I definitely just liked what it, kind of the feel of the romance, but historical. I don't know. I like historical, romances like this. I wouldn't exactly call this one of my rom-coms, but I definitely enjoy these sometimes, and I love the cover. She's pouring the hot tea on him, so obviously he's the rogue. So this one follows Lady Lucy, one of the suffragettes, and she meets Tristan, who is probably somebody important in the movement, in Parliament or something like the first one. So she's trying to seduce him or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, this one is probably going to be the one I read. But if I can read this one and I have some time, I might pick up another book that fits this prompt as well. So if I do get a second romance focused book, I'm going to try to read One Star Romance, because I have so many of these romances, guys, these rom-coms. I like them. They're quick, easy go-to reads for me. And this one has been on my shelf since June of 2024. So this one is, it says, a struggling writer is forced to walk down the aisle at her best friend's wedding with the man who gave her book a very public 1-star rating in this fresh romantic comedy. So this one sounds fun. So maybe I'll get to this one. Who knows? But either one of these will fit that prompt. Now, another book that is on my pile of possibilities, don't know if I'm going to get to it, don't know where I would fit it in on my pie, but A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I have read 3 of her books so far. The 2 books in the Divine Rivals, I really enjoyed that one. And then I read Wild Reverence, which was the prequel. And I didn't enjoy it as much. I felt like it should have been separated into 2 different books. So anyway, I'm curious to see how this one holds up. It's not part of the series, but I'm just curious if it was a one-time enjoyment, or if, Rebecca Ross is somebody that I will enjoy. It just was maybe the Wild Reverence book wasn't for me. So it says, it starts with a letter and an anonymous journey across dark waters. 10 years after being sent away to the mainland to become a bard, Jack Jack Tamerlan is summoned home to Cadence, sorry, can't even say. But his return is not a joyous one. Girls are going missing from the island, and Ageria, future leader of the clan, believes Jack is the only one who can find them. So we'll see. This is a maybe. Don't know if I'm going to get to it, but it will be put aside. And one other book that might be on my list is Romantic Hero. This I just got this month as an add-on for July, and this one sounds fun, but I think this was like a pre-release, so it's not even released yet in the library on audiobooks or anything like that, so we'll see if I can get to this one. It is a fairly short read, so I should be able to read quickly with my eyes. But it says, a heartbroken romance novelist is forced to address her writer's block when the villainous cowboy character from her books shows up in the real world, desperately in need of his own happily ever after. So that sounds fun. So that's another one that might be, we'll see. But I got a lot here already for these 2 weeks. So now, of course, with Ketchupathon, there's always these fun little activities that we do that determine how many, in this case, how many slices of the pie we're going to eat. So like, for example, you know, review a book of the month book, or read with an ambient room, a buddy read, feature a book of the month on your Instagram. So all these different things. So depending on how many of these prompts you complete will determine how many slices you have, or how many friends you're sharing your pie with. So I'm excited. This starts on July 12th and it goes for 2 weeks. So it is going to end on July 26th. And hopefully I can get at least the 5 main books on my list read, because I really don't have anything else planned. And I do have audios for all of them, so I can throw in the audios again while I'm doing things, because I do have a lot of stuff to do this next 2 weeks. So check back at the end of the 2 weeks. I'm going to do a little bit of a different type of vlog this time. I mean, I'm still going to let you know my thoughts and everything, but I feel like with 5 books, it's going to be a lot. So they're probably just going to be more of check-ins and maybe just like on the spot reviews once I finish the book, but we'll see. Either way, I'm still going to tell you all of my thoughts, and hopefully I could get 5 more books out of the vault here. Leave me some type of pie emoji down in the comments if you just want to let me know that you were here. Otherwise, let me know all of your thoughts on all of these books. Which ones have you read? Which ones are you intrigued in? Are you participating in Ketchupathon, whether it's book of the month or your own TBR? You know the deal. I love to hear all your thoughts. Well, that's all I have for now. Bye.